Hey everybody, this is Bob Wheeler with ClearedJobs.Net. Welcome to our Military Monday. Today we're going to be talking to Doug, to Doug Woodruff here. He's from the Microsoft Software and Systems Academy. So we're going to be talking a little bit about entry-level IT type stuff. So for those of you who are here with us, thanks for joining us. If you're already in and you got a little comment section there, feel free to jump in there. Let us know who you are. Like, what's your background? You got what service are you with? Do you have IT background skills? Also, it's a great place to throw some questions out there as we're going along with this. So if we see a question, maybe we'll answer it here on our little live conversation. But like I said, we're going to be talking to Doug about Microsoft Systems Academy. My name is Bob Wheeler. I'm ClearedJobs.Net. I've been here for 8 years. I'm a Navy veteran myself, but I'm an account rep. But more importantly than me, let's hear from Doug. Doug, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I appreciate it, Bob. All right, so I'm Doug Woodruff. I've got 20 years of Army experience and a mix of active duty and the reserves. Essentially, I was managing communications, technical help desk, and customer escalation as a signal officer. I've worked at battalion, brigade, and division with the Division Automation Management Office. But I left active duty in 2016 out of Fort Campbell, Kentucky, so 101st Airborne Division, where I was, again, I was a signal officer. So the funny story is when I left, I left active duty. I just finished graduate school. I completed some industry recognized certs, and I would often have to go to those MLS crosswalks and put the enlisted IT MLS because as an officer we were considered general management. And so anyway, I moved to Nashville. I worked in contract logistics, and then I found out about the MSSA program, and I completed the program, and I interviewed with Microsoft. So once you complete a program, you get to interview with Microsoft or one of our hiring partners, and I ended up getting the job of the site manager there at Fort Campbell, and then that's with the military affairs team. So I work with them, and it's been it's been the best opportunity in my life, best timing, I guess. So my new role is it's evolved. I'm now a career development manager. So my role is to assist veterans with recruiting and admissions, teach our professional development curriculum on Fridays, and then we serve as a liaison for job placement. So to date, we've successfully helped over 3,000 veterans through our
Hey,
program.
all right, Doug. So now you know a little bit about Doug, you know a little about myself. But before we get too specific about the MSSA program, which is a really awesome program, I think you're going to learn a lot, like learning about this. But let's just start big picture, Doug. When you work with folks getting into IT, and a lot of folks getting into IT, um, so from a veteran perspective, what makes veterans good candidates for IT careers? But in the same time, what challenges do they face? The goods and the bads of that.
Yeah, excellent question. So just recently, and I've got a list, but just recently, Glassdoor published their 50 best jobs in America, and 8 out of 10 were tech jobs. So I just want to throw that out there. Department of Labor has also mentioned that it's the fastest growing industry. So, but to answer your question, first, I'm going to stay passionate and a good attitude. So sometimes we have to teach our veterans just to smile in the interview process. I know not all the branches are the same, but that's very important. Just smile. It's customer focused job where a large percentage of your management, they don't speak the ones and zeros. So being able to talk to people, relate to them is extremely important. And then breaking complex problems into easily understood, maybe like viable explanations. So just taking those complex problems and being able to break those down. The other one I hear a lot is avoid imposter syndrome. And I think it's common for all of us. Veterans bring a lot of experience to companies. And so I want you to, be proud of your service, but you got to learn to be humble too. So the next one I would say I've got here is, the good work ethic. And it goes without saying. So some of the brightest minds, that come out of the military, they have tons of experience. They aren't always the best in our classroom setting because of complacency. Maybe they lack, the ability of time management. It's just very important. So I just encourage everyone, stay hungry, work hard, and love what you do. Our classes, they're limited to 15 students, and you're going to constantly be learning a breadth of technology. We're going to throw a lot out at you. We also often say, drink from a fire hose, or it's really drinking from a fire hydrant. But we just hope that some of it sticks, because when you get a job, like, you're going to be told, hey, we need you to do this, and we want you to be able to go and run with it. Hey, I remember this. But we really want you to develop projects that are deep dive into the areas that you're learning in the classroom, but also that you have a personal interest in. It does me no good to tell you, hey, I need you to work on a cybersecurity project if you don't like cybersecurity, or this project, or etc. Just, the classes, they're immersive learning. They're 17 weeks, and then they're going to have hands-on labs and sandbox environments. So it's kind of ultra learning at its finest.
So yeah, well, let's go ahead and get
Yeah,
in a little bit more about
yeah,
the actual academy itself.
okay,
As I understand it, this Microsoft Systems Academy is designed for people getting into the IT field. So you don't
mhm,
necessarily have to have a lot of IT experience. Am I correct in that? So just
that is
kind of give us
correct.
an overview on who's this for? Who's your
Yeah.
target audience?
All right, so it's all right. So MSSA, we're a skill bridge program, but we're our career skills program for the Army. But it's 17 weeks. It's full-time technical training in Microsoft Azure, which is for our cloud, and it's for transitioning service members or veterans. So you need no experience. You don't need a clearance. It's obviously if you have a clearance, it's going to give you a little bit more opportunities, but none of those are required.
Awesome. So for this program, it's designed for that stuff. So usually when you start hearing things like this is a free program to help me get a skill and a job,
Yeah,
hands are going up. Like, how do I get in
right,
here? So let's first,
right.
before we get into the how do you get into it, what's the day-to-day experience like for these guys? Is it just a week long? Is it like a month long? Is it in
Yeah.
person? What's the day-to-day
Okay.
experience?
So typical days, Monday through Thursday is going to be technical training. It's 8 o'clock in the morning, all the way till 4, and then from 4 to 5, we call it a flex hour. That 1 hour, that's going to be time for your CDM, which is what I do, and your tech instructor to kind of gauge, who needs this additional assistance. If we need one-on-one, we can do some additional instruction. If instruction runs over, we have that 1 hour flex time. So 8 to 5. And then Monday through Thursdays tech. Fridays are for professional development. So what we realized early on is that you need to be able to have both skills. It does no good to have all tech skills or a lot of professional development. We need both. So we have about an 80-20 split, 80% technical and 20% professional development. In the pro dev, what we're going to teach you how to market yourself. We're going to teach you how to do technical interviewing, technical resumes. We're going to go through networking, and then at the end of it, you're going to have we have our own virtual hire fairs. We have our own partner companies that will hire from our program, and then we have a hiring portal that you can go on, put your information in, and the end goal is that you get a job. So your career development manager will follow you all the way throughout the program, and then after you're done, they're going to help with that job search
Yeah.
functionality as well.
What kind of when you talk about the hard skills and stuff like that, we did the IT type stuff. Are the
Yeah.
specific certs that you guys are focusing on? Is it just project
Yeah.
based? Like, what are
All
they
right.
what are they going to come out with? These
All right.
folks.
So we have two different pathways right now. We have a third. It's a pilot. We're hoping it does well. It's going to be more for cleared talent. But our first one is Server and Cloud Admin, or SCA. You're going to get Azure certifications in that one. So it's going to gear you for the 900 and the 104. And then it's really focused on Active Directory, hypervisor, going into more of the it's more for systems admin type role. All right. So it's geared towards our services jobs. Our other program is the CAD program, Cloud App Development. That program is going to be geared more for your engineers. Those are your coders, programmers. It's going to be geared towards, it starts with C# and it goes into Java, does, some other languages, and it's really focused on that. Going back to SCI, forgot to mention, PowerShell is very important, very, very important for that program. You're going to learn PowerShell and you're going to learn Linux. So our third program, again, it's a pilot. I'm not too familiar with it as much, but March, they're going to start their first course. It's the Microsoft Federal. And those jobs are geared towards, our federal team. So supporting your three-letter agencies, your DoD, all of those contracts as well. So that program, it includes, it's kind of like our courses, but then it's going to add a little bit more cyber and a little bit more things of what they're working on on the federal teams.
All right. Hey, we've already got some questions coming in, which is great. Some of these I'm going to get to in a bit, but there's a couple I can probably jump into right now. One question Jacob wants to know, is this a program that they pay for, or who's paying for it, or is it a GI Bill? I think
Good
a
question.
lot of times they hear things that are like free, but then the question is like how is it free?
How
What do they
free?
have to do to get the free, or how free is it? Yeah. So
Yeah.
what's that answer on that one?
So we actually used to, if you hear the old program, we were on 15 different military installations. You had to, find a way to how you were going to get there. No, our program, when we say free, Microsoft covers it. So we use a Microsoft Learning Partner. We will not use your GI Bill. So you earn that, use that for your education at a later date. What we're going to do is we're going to use a Microsoft Learning Partner. You're going to do it virtual. So it's taught over Teams. It is, like I said, it's a full-time commitment, Monday through Friday for 17 weeks. But, you know, there's no commute, no gate traffic. You get to take this course from the comfortable, your living room.
Awesome.
Yep.
Austin wants to know, what percentage of the hiring opportunities after they're done are with Microsoft versus other companies. So basically, kind of comes down to like, where do the folks end up?
Yeah. Yeah.
Once they're all done, is what he's really asking, I think.
Yeah, great question. So at the end of the program, you're going to interview with Microsoft again. We can't take everybody, but we do take a very large portion. I don't know if that's external information. So, but I'll tell you, easily 1 in 4 will get hired at Microsoft. We will continue to work with you. Most of our candidates will have a job within 30 to 60 days of completing the course. In IT, I want to point that out. It's not just getting a job; it's getting an IT job.
Yeah, and Doug, this is, you're in Nashville, but the course itself, you
Yeah,
can be anywhere, right? I mean, you
you can
can,
be.
because it's virtual right now, and
Yeah. I have somebody right now in Germany taking this course because of the accessibility of being online.
but
So
it's synchronous, right? I think
yeah,
you mentioned to me that he's got to work
yeah,
Central Time Zone hours, but still, it's
yeah,
possible.
yeah. Our courses are in Central Time Zone, and then we have courses on the Pacific Time Zone. So you would just pick your time zone when you interview. When you apply, there will be information if you would be willing to do the Central Time Zone or the Pacific or either. So
And
if you don't get chosen in one, you could get chosen in another.
and so this program, it's not, you can't join at any time, right? Is it, you have a cohort basically where a group of people start on a certain date and they run through a certain time, and then you pick up another one? Is that how that
Yeah,
works?
yeah. So we have cohorts, we have cycles, and so we're changing it to a different cycle. But right now, we've got courses starting in January. We have courses starting in March, April. We have courses starting in July. We have courses starting in October. So throughout the year, you're gonna have several courses, and each course is limited to 15 people. We realized early on that having too many people in a virtual environment, if you have 30 people in the classroom, not everybody's getting to answer their questions or getting to ask their questions, and it's too many people on a virtual environment. So we kind of limit our class size to a 15 to 1 student teacher ratio.
Hmm.
And another thing that we offer that I failed to mention earlier is the mentorship. So we literally have about a 3-to-1 ratio of FTEs, those are full-time employees at Microsoft, mentors for you on our Fridays. So they'll meet with you 1 hour. We start out with large groups, and then we synchronize that to smaller groups. So you get some really, you're 3 to 5 people in a group. You're getting to ask and speak to people who have worked in the industry, some of them 20 years, that are volunteering their time to give back to veterans.
Yeah. Now we're getting to the point where folks are really going to be, this is such a great opportunity that people are going to start asking those real questions, like, how do I
Yeah.
get in?
Yep.
You had mentioned to me briefly before we started this, we were prepping for this, that it's not just a sign up and just everybody gets in, right? You've got some like
Right.
interview type pieces. There's some there.
Yeah.
You select people to come to the program. Is that correct, or how does that
That it
work?
that is very correct. So what we're looking for passion. We look for projects. We look for all those things. And when you go through this course, you're gonna apply. You're gonna be once you apply, you're given an application manager. You have about a 2-week window to apply. Once you're assigned an application manager, they're going to work with you. They're going to give you a free voucher to go and take your entry level certification. That's really just an aptitude to see that you can learn this. Once you complete that, they're going to follow you, and you get all your documents in. You get about roughly 7 weeks, give or take, but you're going to get plenty of time to get all of that stuff in. Everyone that makes it through will go through an interviews phase. All right. So I can't give you the questions or anything like that, but I would just encourage you to bring your best foot forward, and really answer those questions with passion, and tell a little bit about yourself. Because the people get in the course, we've got some people that are experienced, but we also, on the other hand, we have people that are brand new to technology that have none of those, no certs, no experience. They're 11 Bravos, they're grunts, and have been some of my best students.
It's interesting. The more we talk about this, this is you don't you like you said, you don't have to be an IT, have any IT experience at all if you don't want to, but you do need to show the aptitude.
Yeah.
And in some ways, this is one of the few things that's kind of like getting into the military, because you come into the Army or the Navy or the Marine Corps, whatever, and they say, hey, all right, well, you're smart enough, we'll teach you how to do this, and then we'll give you the job to do this. Well, that type of thing. And so
Yeah.
in some ways, this is similar to that. Not everybody goes to work for Microsoft, but certainly Microsoft, as the people who are paying for this, they
Yeah.
want the best of the best. But lots of people end up at other places too, right? You said that
Yeah.
they, you know,
And and I think there's, it goes back to that kind of imposter syndrome. I'm telling you here, we've had so many people get hired at Microsoft, and it's amazing because it's not just young people, it's retirees, it's people with experience, people without experience. So you never really know. And I had a quote. I wanted to make sure I get a chance to read this quote
yeah,
because this came from an executive at Microsoft, and I've kind of redacted some of the information, but I have two MSSA hires, a former Ranger medic and an Air Force. I just put airman because I didn't know exactly what he did. Uh, these are folks who both came with 17 weeks of technical experience, no degrees in comp sci, and flew through our promo cycles in their first 2 years. Unstoppable and brilliant hires who are writing code and doing real engineering work. In the first couple of years, there is a trade off between academic technical skills versus maturity and professional skills. But in my experience, and this person's been with Microsoft like 20 plus years, knowledge can be taught more easily than maturity and professionalism. It's a much faster on ramp. So anyway, I just wanted to include that quote.
yeah. I mean, so this is a program that's got, what you're really saying there is it's got some history there at Microsoft, so it's already
Yeah,
showing, it's not a brand new program.
yeah. Our
Um,
program started in 2013 with the Marine Corps, and so we started with Marines. My skip, which is my boss's boss, is a retired Marine general. Our team has people from all different branches, to include the Coast Guard. We have spouses. We have what we call veteran advocates, and it's military affairs. We're a very small team here at Microsoft. We working with all the different branches has kind of gave me a different perspective, just because some of the branches are a lot harder to get into the program, and so we grew. I think 2016 we expanded to Army bases and Air Force base. Just last week, we finally the Coast Guard they are they're allowing their coasties to join these programs as well. So it's been a long, arduous journey, but the AER just donated $3 million to assist. That's for the Army, but to assist skill bridge programs, and so it's a credible opportunity.
yeah, and when they're doing this, this is not a program that you can do. This is like it's a full-time quote job when you're in
Yeah,
this program. You can't do this on the
yeah.
side while you're, doing other things.
Yeah,
Um,
if you're transitioning from the military, I mean, where can you go and get paid by the military while you look for your next career? It's an amazing opportunity. And then
yeah.
same thing, there's several of these programs like ours that allow you to, do this as a veteran. So I've had probably every era of veterans that you can think of that have applied and to our program.
Yeah. So a couple of other questions we've got coming in there.
Yeah,
One gentleman was wondering, basically, is it too late to even be looking at the March course? Is that, you know,
I definitely need to talk about that. It's something that we kind of had a hurdle here at Fort Campbell with, but is projecting long enough out. I don't know where it came from, but like years ago, we just said, hey, 90 days before you get out of the military, you need to go to these courses. And now we're saying a year, 18 months. I think some people I've even met are 2 years out, they're already looking. And I would encourage you to do the same. So our courses, they fill up quickly because we need to lock in our candidates. And plus we got to interview everybody. It takes a while. So our courses will lock, like the application window this month for in February is for the course that starts in July. So the all courses up until July have been filled,
yeah.
and July course will go run through the first week in November.
And it looks like Joshua Norwich here is done
Mhm.
done some pretty good research because he's already looking into this and submitting an application for the July 11th to November 8th learning pass. So this is a dude that's obviously doing his
Absolutely,
homework. So good on you,
absolutely.
Joshua.
And I tell people, like, at Microsoft, we have our values, and one of them is growth mindset. IT is a dynamic career field, so often as soon as you learn something new, there's something else being developed that's faster, more reliable, cheaper. So you're constantly having to dig into technical information, resources, and get comfortable with being uncomfortable, because you're going to go on Reddit and you're going to see all of these things to scare you away. Don't let that scare you away. Like, there were some people that might not have got through the interview process. I don't know why. I don't put people in the courses. I don't have any of that authority, but don't let that discourage you from applying. Just apply, and hopefully you get in. And if not, again, have that growth mindset. Apply again. There's nothing that says you can't keep applying. You can apply every time until you get in.
Yeah. So basically there's a good website they can go to get more information about these details. What's that good website there?
Absolutely. It's Microsoft. It's military.microsoft.com.
Military.microsoft.com. You
Yeah.
can't get much easier than that. Keep it
Yeah.
nice and simple for us.
I'd say you Bing it. Go online, you Bing. It won't say the other browser, but yeah, you go on there and you just search MSSA Microsoft. That'll come up as well, or just go to
So,
military.microsoft.com and then go to programs, and you'll see we have a couple of programs for veterans, but the MSSA program is the one that it's kind of our flagship for veterans.
yeah, so there's your tip at the interview. Make sure you say, "Well, I Binged it to figure out how to apply." If you drop the Bing in there, you're going to be getting some brownie points with the Microsoft folks.
There you go.
Um, let's see, anything else we got going on here? We mentioned that the website. So we had a few more questions that kind of came in.
Okay.
Take a look here. A lot of people asking questions just general about the timeline, which we really kind
Yeah.
of got to.
Yeah.
Inside the comments section, by the way, is the link. So thanks Nancy or Ashley for the producers room for putting that link in the comment section. So it's already there.
And one other kind of one tip, I guess, Microsoft's, our mission is to empower every person in every organization on the planet to achieve more. I want to tell you, IT is a collaborative thing. So if you like working in projects, working on teams, because I cannot hash projects enough. I see a lot of veterans that come in, they go right to certifications. Don't be a cert chaser. Like I can tell you, you need the experience. You want the experience. If you have a high level clearance, I would go to 8570, make sure that you're 8570 compliant. But then after that, I would do refreshers on that training, especially if you took it a long time ago. And I would make sure that you do some kind of project that shows your capacity and ability to do that. Because when you go to an interview, you are trying to convince that employer or that interviewer that you know how to do this job. You're building that trust. And if you just went out and studied and crammed for a test and took the test and brain dumped it, one, your interview is going to be a lot harder than somebody that with no experience. And two, it's by design because they're going to have to pay you more because you bring more to the table. So I would just make sure that if you do have a certification on your resume, that you know about that certification. So I just want to point that out.
And that's I know we don't have a lot of time today.
Yeah.
We're not done, but we're getting closer to done. So I don't want to jump into a whole nother topic, but I will say that these projects you talk about, these are the kind of things you can put on your resume.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to find a way to list a project that you've done, even if it wasn't for money, that describes the way that you've used those tools, like Doug was saying, as far as you can list that you can use this language or code in this language, or that you've got this cert, but to be able to show that you've done something with it, even if it's just to describe the project. I built this, I did that, it does this.
Get on GitHub and just start. If you want to program, you can program different programs. Again, I can go on and look at how active you are on GitHub. If I see that, a week before your interview, you loaded everything up, that's probably not somebody that's a lot of passion. I want to see you show me a continued, like every other day you're logging on and doing some coding. That's what we're looking for.
And if you've never heard of GitHub, this is the kind of stuff that you're going to learn, in the MSSA program too. So this is not something, this is one of the reasons I love talking to Doug, because, he's got that, understands what it takes to be somebody who's got some experience looking for the job, or even to be somebody with experience looking for the next job or the promotion piece. But he also understands that person who's, like, they said, the 11 Bravo, the hospital corpsman, the combat engineer, that's decided, hey, I'm going to get into this.
I can't tell you enough, Bob. Like some of the best people that came through here, aviation, whether they're a pilot or the person who fixes the aircraft, they've been amazing. I've had people coming in from medics. Medics have been some of the best people that I've had. The Marine, and I can't remember what. I don't call them MOS, but whatever the occupational specialty for
Marines are MOS.
MOS. So like the just a corpsman or what's a boatswainsman, whatever that is.
A bosun.
Yeah. So some of them have been some of our best people. Like I thought when I came here that like you would have to have IT people would do better in the interview or do better, and boy was I wrong. So I think those people sometimes get complacent because, they've been doing it for 10 years, but then I'm like, okay, 10 years, what do you got to show for it? You got an A certification. Okay, you got one certification in 10 years. And then I got somebody else that has one certification in 6 months. And, when you start weighing the pros and cons and what they bring to the table, you got to be hungry. You got to really want it and do it, not because you have to, but do it because you want to. That's
All
that
right.
passion that we talk about.
Yeah, so we're heading towards the end here. If anybody didn't get their question answered, or if you need any help from us, there's an email address, customer service at ClearedJobs.net. That's one way to get a hold of us, and we can help you get a hold of Doug. You can find Doug Woodruff on LinkedIn as well. He's pretty easy to find out there. You know, Doug, is there any other contact information that you want to give? You got the website,
Yep.
find you on LinkedIn.
Yeah, LinkedIn is probably the best way to get a hold of me. I'm an emailer, so if you want to message me on there, I'll get back to you.
Yeah. And for anybody out there, whether you're in this program or whether you're not in this program, you're going to go in this program. I do want to take a quick moment before we close out to remind you that we've got a couple of job fairs coming up through ClearedJobs.net. We've got one on February the 10th, which is just this Thursday. That one is for people with a CI or a full scope poly only. That's an in-person event in Dulles, Virginia. So if you got a counter intel or a full scope poly, you can register for that. And honestly, even if you can't make it to the in-person event, all of your resumes always go to these to all the employers that are there. So it can be worth still registering, but you need to have the CI or the full scope poly for that one. And then first week of March the 2nd, we've got a virtual job fair for anybody with any clearance at all. So you just have to have a clearance, and it's virtual. You can go to clearjobs.net/job fair list, or if you go to clearjobs.net, and at the top of the page, it'll have job fairs. You can see those things there. When you click on that, you can see all the companies that are going to be there. You can see the jobs that they've got posted that they're looking to fill, and you can register and get your resume submitted for that piece as well. So that's some other stuff that's out there. And like I said, we were really excited about this Military Monday because I've worked with Doug. I've done some work talking to his classes before. He just does great work, man. Just really an outstanding program. So it was really our pleasure to get a chance to to get some more love to that program there.
I appreciate it. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah. So that being said, I think that we're going to wrap it on up here. We're just about at our half-hour mark. So happy Military Monday, everybody, and give us a holler. You can find me, Bob Wheeler, or find Doug Woodruff. We're on LinkedIn. Hit us up.